current state of the legislature is that we are in crunch time, and every minute of every day counts. There's a lot of things that are taking place, but by and large, when I talk about crunch time, is because all of the bills that have some sort of spending component or tax relief component are all coming together, and we need to sort through things in the coming weeks and especially next week. Starting next Tuesday is when the legislature is going to deal with the budget. And the budget, year in and year out for the state is approximately $5.4, $5.5 billion. The Appropriations Committee will present its budget proposal to the legislature on Tuesday. They will begin debating the budget on Wednesday. And there are 5 or 6 key bills. They don't pass the budget all in one bill. Some of the budget bills are already moving, but the mainline budget that spends the bulk of the $5.4 billion will begin debate next week. And so there's a lot of competing interests for it. The governor has a plan, the Appropriations Committee has a plan. They're pretty much in sync with each other, but then there are several other bills out there in the legislature on the floor. Some are committee priorities, some are omnibus bills that have several bills packaged into them that are all vying for part of the money that is available on the floor to fund some priorities that some of the committees have as well. One of the most significant things in this budget debate for us is the issue of taxes. There's a lot going on, and we're in a unique position in Nebraska. Most other states are somewhat like this because of so much federal funding that has come to the states over the last 3 or 4 years through COVID assistance and things like that. But nonetheless, we have revenues that are about $1 billion more than our budget. So there's a huge focus on tax relief, income and property tax reform. There are, they're sizable bills, but the plan is to return as much money as possible to the taxpayer. The governor has a plan that's very aggressive for income tax reduction as well as property tax relief. When you're looking at it over the next 4 years, if the packages stay intact, which I think they will, it will produce somewhere in the neighborhood of $450 to $500 million of income tax relief and property tax relief over the next 4 years. There's an education funding reform package that puts a little bit over $300 million more into education than the state has funded it in the past, which is about a 30% increase. And these are the things that need to happen in order to get property tax relief on part of how we fund schools and things like that. Plus, there's another bill that Senator Breezy has prioritized that will put an additional $245 million in the property tax credit fund over the next 4 or 5 years. So that will grow it from $315 million a year to $560 million a year. But at the bottom line, for those of us, and property tax relief is our highest priority, we're looking at somewhere in the neighborhood of $450 to $500 million of additional relief that we can add to what we've already achieved in the last 3 or 4 years. The thing that we need to convey to all of our elected officials is what are our priorities, and then encourage them to do the best with the choices that they have